The zoning of key offices in Parliament by the All Progressives Congress, as well as the composition of its incoming government, is expected to breed discontent and a sense of injustice amongst those who felt cheated out. How does the party intend to deal with this? Well, we have APC's National Publicity Secretary, Felix Morka, joining us now for an update on zoning of offices, as well as efforts by the party to address internal malcontents. Good to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us on Newsday today.
Thank you.
All right. There's a lot of discussion about the leadership positions that are being doled out right now. We want to know what efforts are being made on behalf of the APC to address the discontent of certain members within the party in order to make them agree with and rally behind the consensus candidates that were announced a few days back.
Thank you very much. Well, you call it discontent, I call it concerns. Members, especially those of them who are aspiring to contest the presiding officer positions in the 10th Assembly. You know, some of them, yes, have expressed their concern regarding the arrangement, the zoning arrangement that was announced by the party a couple of days ago. Now, this is, normal. You don't expect in a political party, or for that matter, as it affects its members, for everyone to be on the same page when matters like this are discussed. People are bound to have their own positions and canvass those positions, vigorously. And they have every right to canvass those positions. For example, today the NWC, the National Working Committee of our party, received some of our, highly respected leaders and members from the House of Representatives who came to express some of those concerns. And led by our national chairman, the National Working Committee listened very attentively to these concerns, and we were quite glad they came with those positions. So we've listened to them, and the party will continue to engage and to consult with them and with other leaders to ensure that we, create common ground where we all can stand united as we go into the election for these positions in the National Assembly well over 30 days from now.
Now, yesterday we had Honorable Abubakar Chika, a member of your party, the APC, on our program, and it seems that the president-elect is already playing regional politics just like he did in Lagos. Now, what I would like to know is, when are we going to move beyond zoning and selection and anointing of candidates and actually start talking of national unity, healing, and reconciliation?
Well, in my understanding, zoning is a way to promote national healing, national unity, national cohesion. It is a way, because, see, part of the reason I think we've had this history where political parties somewhat get involved in, trying to arrange or, have these arrangements made with respect to zoning is because we struggle to prevent a situation where, by individual effort, the kind of conundrum whereby you may actually be faced with a reality where all of those officers, come from the same region. Don't forget that our Constitution enacts the federal character principle. So we try to ensure some level of balance by having these conversations. There's nothing hard and fast about it. I've listened to a lot of comments and reviews where people speak as though somebody is dictating, how this is to be done. Nobody is dictating anything. But we are consulting with each other with mutual respect and accommodation, hoping that if we are able to agree to find that common ground, then it's easier to go into the contests where you have other opposition parties that are looking to clinch these positions, to go there united. And hopefully even win over some members of the opposition to join our position. That's a legitimate, I think, engagement for a political party.
If you said that you're seeking a consensus and you're meeting with people trying to agree, shouldn't that have been done before you announced, that it had been zoned and that some people have been appointed, to fill in these positions when the assembly is inaugurated? Shouldn't that consensus have been reached before the announcement?
No, we have not. I've not used the word consensus, and in the statement that I gave, I didn't use that word. I understand the meaning of consensus. You do consensus when you are in a position to actually enact outcomes. Our party is not in a position to enact outcomes. We are simply offering direction to our elected National Assembly members and giving them some guide, so to speak, in terms of what we consider to be in the best national interest. Interests that promote equity, that promote unity, and ensure that every region is given a fair share of some level of role in the governance of the National Assembly. That's what we've done. And don't forget that at the end of the day, members elect in both chambers will go to vote and vote as they must in support of one candidate or the other. Let me break this down a little bit. I think that, we need to take a deep breath and understand that as an individual, as a citizen, if I have a representative in each of these chambers, I'm within my rights to write to them, to lobby them, to actually support one candidate from one region or the other. That is what citizens are supposed to do. In fact, we have a duty to do that. And because we are aggregated in a political party, does not mean we have lost that liberty as individuals to actually participate in decision-making that affects all of us. So I am Felix Morka, and if I decide to speak to any legislator to support one position or the other, that's my liberty. And as a political party, as an aggregate of all of us who voluntarily join this party, I think we have every right to actually engage in this manner.
Certainly, there will be a lot of lobbying and trying to aggregate numbers. But just as you touched on earlier, are there any fears that with what might be going on within the party, that some of the opposition might exploit that in order to garner more numbers for themselves? And especially since within APC, just like my colleague mentioned, there was Honorable Betara Aliyu yesterday, his representative who was talking about still staying in the race, as well as a female member of the House of Representatives, Miriam Onuaha. Your comments on those individuals and the opposition maybe garnering more numbers?
No, what we're witnessing again is typical. This is how it plays. Not just in Nigeria, it's how it plays in the United States in so many systems, especially your presidential system of government. Now, part of why we are doing zoning is, again, like I said earlier, to try to bring everybody together. But if your question is whether the opposition, may, cash in on that too, there are no cracks. There's a reason we made this announcement well over 35 days to the day or date for the inauguration of the National Assembly, is to afford us the opportunity to do exactly what we're doing today. The meeting we had today with some of these respected, eminent leaders of the House of Representatives is exactly one of the things we had in mind, that we will have these conversations and talk until, again, we are able to achieve a mutually agreeable position for the party, which will actually help us to pull in the opposition. As a matter of fact, we are confident and hopeful that we will be able to pull in the opposition into our ranks in support of whatever position that we finally take, than lose votes to the opposition. That, I think, is our hope, and we're working hard to achieve that.
Now, in a situation where the National Working Committee is meeting to decide who gets what and why in the 10th National Assembly, or to use your word, in a situation where they are hoping to give lawmakers a guide on how to select or elect, their leaders, how independent can we actually expect the legislature to be under the incoming administration? Is this an indication that, it's going to be rubber stamp?
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite. It has nothing to do with, having a rubber stamp legislature. Nobody desires that. Certainly, President-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not desire that sort of situation where you have a rubber stamp National Assembly. That's not in our national interest to have that. But having said that, the independence of the arms of government does not mean that these arms must be at loggerheads, must not spell, some sort of acrimonious relationship. Matter of fact, I think that what we're doing, this engagement, is seeking to promote, harmony, to allow for a harmonious relationship to exist between, both branches of government, so that they can actually go tackling the priorities of the people. That's the reason they were elected. And as our constitution says, that the welfare of the people is the essence of government. Government in its totality, both, the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judiciary, for that matter. So the point here is that this engagement that is going on, including, like I said, the liberty of individuals, including the president-elect, and everyone to, have some say in, at least in the background, before the day of inauguration. The idea is actually to reduce rancor, is to promote, unity and promote, collaboration. It's not meant to, subordinate one branch to the other. But I think that ultimately we desire that kind of legislature that's, completely attentive to the need to work, together productively with the executive branch, so we can actually drive policies that are beneficial to our people.
Well, Felix, Morka, it's always good to have you on the program with us. Thank you so much for joining us on News.